Today is going to be the last video I make with this really sensitive microphone, so we should be back to normal audio tomorrow and we won't have the echo. However, today's video is going to be talking about quite the sensitive topic. This has been an actual drama in the community, and I really want to just cover it and explain why Ussuriii is in the wrong here. And yeah, that brings me to Ussuriii. She is basically one of the top female players in the game, if not the best. She's done stuff like Trifet, Zodiac, Bloodlust, Jigsaw. These are some really hard levels. In fact, Jigsaw is a main list, so that is really crazy. And you can just scroll down here. There's a bunch of really hard achievements, and she's been going at it for a while. You can see she beat her first list demon when Digital Descent was still on the list. However, recently, as you can see, she had to post an apology 15 hours ago. If you want to pause and read this, you can, but basically the apology is just talking about how she's apologizing for how she acted to people on Twitter and some of the Discord messages that leaked recently, because you're gonna see them in a minute, but she has basically been saying stuff like the N-word, and she's been blatantly transphobic to people. If you know a bit about her, you might think she's being cancelled for this. This was posted on March 23rd, and it is her replying to a video on the top 10 hardest levels beaten by a woman. And I didn't actually cover this when it originally happened because I thought it was a bit too sensitive to cover on YouTube. However, basically what it was is the video was transphobic. It didn't include trans people in this, and it was a bit of a sensitive topic. And even if it wasn't the creator of the video actually blatantly trying to be transphobic, the video definitely came off as transphobic for that, and Useri was basically defending the video, and that's why that happened. And she's basically being exposed for these tweets here. Now, these came right before they were found before the apology, and this is what the apology really is referring to. And they are very iffy. They are definitely bad messages. They've been sent in a Discord server, and I'm gonna read them to you. I mean, sorry I said the N-word, guys, lol, but damn, I really think I could have done something way worse. You'll see in the other messages I'll show you, but basically, she tries to say that because I said the N-word, it isn't bad because I could have done something worse. And then she tries to blame trans people for this issue. As you can see here, she tries to claim that if someone in her shoes said the N-word as a transgender, then they probably wouldn't care. Literally, how does that make any sense? I'm not even gonna try and comment on that. I think I can just show this message and you can understand what the issue is. And then she goes on to blame Ultrakawa, who had literally nothing to do in this conversation. Like, she's using her as an example and says because she's trans, she wants to eliminate Christianity. What is this? What do I do? First of all, let's just ignore that she calls non-trans people as normal people, as if trans people are normal. But then she goes on to say that if a normal person decides to act a little stupid and says the N-word, then all of a sudden, they're a really bad and evil person. I'm not gonna say his name. But you get what I mean, like, what do you mean? No one is saying this. If a non-black person just blatantly says the N-word, then no matter who you are, you're getting into trouble, and that's a bad thing. Nobody's picking sides because they're trans or not. You're just making stuff up, and this is blatantly transphobic. You can have your views on stuff like this. Like, every person thinks differently, okay? But if you have an opinion that could genuinely hurt another ethnicity or someone with a different sexuality or anything, then please just keep it to yourself. There's no need to be public about this. And then she tries to defend it and says, yeah, notice how they only threw in screenshots and not the actual interaction. However, I'll show on screen here the actual interaction, but the actual interaction is just a bunch of other people doing the exact same thing as her. They're just all in the wrong. It's actually, I can't believe that this is something public and that you just have these thoughts. And as you can see, Ultrakawa here agrees with this, obviously, because why is she getting thrown into this for no reason? And then we can see a message up at the top saying you are not sorry, you only did this because you finally got enough backlash. Yeah, basically as soon as these Discord messages leaked, we got this Google Doc. You can see that she acts all goody two-shoes. Now look, I'm happy that there is an apology. I'm happy that she's not just gonna brush the entire thing off and she addressed it. However, it does come off as a bit weird because, you know, this seems like you're super supportive of people now and you're not racist and you understand your wrongs, but like, this was literally less than a day ago these messages leaked. Like, this is all instant and now it seems like you've completely 180'd in personality. It just doesn't seem that doable. Now, I wouldn't be mad at this apology. Like, again, it feels a bit weird. However, if she didn't make an apology, then people would get mad at her because she's just ignoring the situation. However, if she does make an apology like this, then people are going to say, well, oh, well, you've 180'd. You don't actually believe in what you're saying. And then if she truthfully gave her opinions in the apology, then she'll probably get cancelled as well. So, I mean, I wouldn't get mad at it, but I mean, no matter what she does, she's in the wrong. Again, I think this is going to show my exact opinion on the situation, but we have someone here saying the fact that people will complain more towards an apology and willingness to grow than someone who doesn't give anything really says something. But then we have a reply, which I really agree with, and it says, I would like to believe this and that you will change for the better, but you didn't ever back down from refusing to believe that trans women and cis women are equally women. And on top of that, you don't just go from he-himming a trans girl to full 180ing to perfect ally in a day. Yeah, it just seems a bit weird. It just kind of shows that she's only doing this because she got found out and not because she truthfully believes what she was doing is in the wrong. So yeah, hopefully that explains to you the situation that's at hand. I think that, look, no matter how you see it, she is in the wrong. Either, I mean, it's for both the issues, but I think we can at least all agree that either saying the N-word or all of those transphobic comments are bad. You should not be doing that publicly to people. That is just not nice at all. I don't really have words to explain it because I usually try and not be negative at all in these videos. I usually try and not pick a side and show both sides of the situation. However, I literally can't here because Ussuriii is just straight up in the wrong. I think that if they take a break from the community for a couple years, they actually planned to take a break before all this even happened, but if they take a long duration break and come back with a fresh mindset, explain everything, and actually show history of being nice and treating people equally in messages from people, in Twitter posts, in YouTube videos, then they can come back to the community. Because mentality can change. She hasn't physically done anything. This is something that she can work on as a person and become better, and I'm going to respect this and not talk about this topic again, and hopefully she can come back as a new person in a couple years' time. But anyways, that is all from this video. I might upload a second one later today because I didn't upload yesterday, and I'll make it up to you. But I should be back tomorrow at my house to make normal content with my normal microphone. However, hopefully next video is going to be on something a bit more lighthearted than this. Hope I explained the situation well, and yeah, see ya. Peace.